The National Heritage Board has launched a new recognition scheme, the Stewards of Singapore's Intangible Cultural Heritage Award, and it's for those who keep the island's heritage alive.
The award hopes to recognize individuals or groups that practice and promote intangible cultural heritage, and that includes rituals, festive events, food heritage, and even traditional craftsmanship. Joining us tonight is Yeo Kirk Siang. He's the Director of Heritage Research and Assessment at the National Heritage Board. Kirk Siang, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Give us a quick sense now, just to recap, what constitutes intangible heritage?
Well, intangible cultural heritage, it comprises many different things. It's essentially the traditions, the skills, the knowledge that people pass down from generation to generation. Sometimes we also call it a living form of heritage because it lives on in the people. It's passed on from generation. It can evolve and change as people innovate and include new practices and innovation into it.
Kirk Siang, why is it important to recognize individuals or groups that further intangible cultural heritage?
So firstly, I think intangible cultural heritage really represents our identity as a people, as a community, as a nation. And I think these practitioners are the ones that are essential to the passing on of this knowledge. And what we hope to achieve through this scheme is to bring about greater awareness of the contributions, of the dedication of these practitioners, to raise the public's awareness of intangible cultural heritage in general, and I guess also to encourage them to pass on the knowledge that they possess to the next generation of practitioners.
So let's say, for example, my grandmother, right? She makes an excellent curry, for example, or a family, or for example, my family member who sews a great pair of Peranakan slippers. Can anyone just apply, or what kind of criteria do they have to meet in order to be take up this award?
There's a few things that we will be looking out for. One is how the mastery of skills, or how good the skills are. And also in terms of experience, we're looking at someone with at least 10 years of experience. I think one of the fundamental criteria that we're really looking at is how do they pass on the knowledge to people. So it could be maybe someone who they train, it could be people who have organized workshops, or it could even be practitioners who go down to schools, for example, to teach young students how to make a certain craft skill. So all these will be taken into consideration as part of the evaluation of the award.
Yeah, I think it's so important to remember that traditions and, as you say, intangible cultural heritage, I mean, it's not a phrase that we use every day in conversations. It's things you don't see. We take it for granted. So what do you think that Singaporeans, other than the ICH practitioners, what they're doing, which is very consistent, what can ordinary Singaporeans do to sort of keep up the effort, to keep things alive?
Yeah. I think one of the important things is ordinary Singaporeans, how do they value some of these practitioners, the crafts, and also even just the way that we celebrate festivals. Beyond just understanding our own festivals for our ethnic group, I think if people can take the opportunity to learn from one another, I think that is also an important part of understanding what makes a multicultural Singapore society so vibrant.
And just to recap a little bit, what exactly does this award entail? So what do the awardees get, and how does the team sort of expect them to spread their influence and sort of keep intangible heritage alive?
There's a few aspects of the award. One is the awardee will get a 5,000 cash award. On top of that, they will be eligible for a 20,000 grant for maybe to do a project that could help encourage and promote intangible cultural heritage. And I think we also want to profile these award recipients in many different ways. Social media is one, could be at events. We have our annual Heritage Festival. That could be another platform where we hope to showcase what these practitioners are known for.
So really the work cut out for these four folks who are going to be awarded this award, really. Well, Kirk Siang, thanks very much for joining us this evening. Appreciate your insight into this topic. We've been speaking there with Yeo Kirk Siang. He's the Director of Heritage Research and Assessment at the National Heritage Board.